Honorable Magogo, allow me to extend our heartfelt gratitude to FUFA for bestowing this honor upon one of our own. The FUFA Presidential Award is not merely a medal or certificate. It is a statement of respect, of regional solidarity, and a shared history. It reminds us that the progress of African football has always been a collective journey. And today, through this symbolic award, we celebrate one of the men who made that possible. To our friends from Uganda, thank you for honoring an African son whose impact belongs to us all. To Mr. Mamelodi, congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Your legacy is etched not only in the records of FIFA and CAF and COSAFA, but in the hearts of those who continue to walk the path you tread.
Mr. President,
Thank you.
my friend, my brother Tarek.
Yes, President.
I want to start by taking this opportunity to thank you for availing us this opportunity.
Yes.
When I reached out to you that we needed to conduct this kind of ceremony, you were very fast. And all you told me, President, leave the rest to me.
Yeah.
And I'm happy we are here that you have lived up to what you told me.
Thank you.
We would have loved to have this award in Uganda for the Ugandans to be able to see Ashford once again. But when we were organizing the event and we reached out, at that time he wasn't able to. But we say that we have an opportunity when we play against Botswana in the World Cup qualifiers. And for us, that was a golden opportunity to come here for such an occasion. So I want to thank you, and I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
I also want to thank the Botswana people, Botswana football, for identifying and raising such a son, a great son of African football, that probably without Botswana football, maybe the world would have not seen Ashford. But through his various responsibilities from a player into administration, the world was able to identify him and usher him onto the continent for the continent to benefit. So on behalf, please take this recognition and appreciation for the people of Botswana, and particularly the football of Botswana. But also I want to take this opportunity to thank FIFA, the body in charge of football internationally, that identified Ashford and gave him an opportunity to serve football beyond the borders of Botswana. Probably he would have done very well, excelled very well for this country, and Africa would have not benefited from him. But as we speak today, Africa has benefited from him, and we want to thank FIFA, right to the president of FIFA, President Gianni Infantino, and the presidents before, that were able to put in place an infrastructure that identifies such resource. Ashford's impact on the game is not only in Botswana, but in the region, as you have mentioned. He was in charge of a number of countries across Africa, and he used to move from one place to another. And his legacy will well stay for many years, because he has not only nurtured administrators, but these are the multiplication factor, like he said, that out of one, we've been able to multiply ourselves and serve the game of football. So your impact, Ashford, and allow me at this moment also to speak to you that for us, an opportunity given to us by God, that we are able to present this award, and you hear these words yourself, and you appreciate that there are people who have appreciated your contribution while you're still alive. Your concentration for particularly the country of Uganda, which had gone into pieces, and that's why we really stand up to recognize you, that in the early 2000s, Ugandan football had gone into pieces. And that's when Ashford came in to rebuild the governance systems, starting from nowhere to where we are today. Everything we do, I remind Ugandans that there was a time and there was a moment when whatever we are doing and whatever we are taking for granted was really far-fetched. You were able to rebuild right from the time of the normalization committee into rebuilding the new statutes that led into the election of Dr. Mulindo as the president of FUFA, that helped us to rebuild the foundation of what we are receiving today as a country as far as football is concerned. During that period, there were a number of challenges. The institution was heavily indebted. The FUFA house, which you participated in building as the headquarters of FUFA, had also been mortgaged at some point, and it needed you to carry money. I'll never forget that, in cash, to be able to salvage the building where we sit today as a football association. In terms of the infrastructure, in addition to the headquarters that you helped build, identify contractors. You're more of a construction supervisor than a regional development officer. All the time engaging with many Ugandan service providers, but we are able to deliver the house, which is a very good, strong structure. And I just want to inform you that the current administration has been able to add one floor on top of that building, and according to the designs you approved then, there could even be more structures on top of it, and I hope ourselves or the people after us will continue doing that. So I want to thank you so much. But also you started the idea of the technical center, which did not make a lot of sense at that time. But you insisted and say after the headquarters, the next thing must be the technical center. Today we have the technical center in place in Injeru, which has a pitch, which has residents, and has been very instrumental in conducting the human resource capacity building programs. That as we speak, from the 30 coaches we are entering almost 6,000 coaches only trained in that center. And if you add up the total human resource turnover in that period, could be in that infrastructure could be going to about 22,000 different Ugandans and non-Ugandans that have undertaken training there. And I think this is your work, and it's responsibility and appreciation you must take. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you as a person, that you identified me. I joined football administration when I was still an active player, about 29 years old. And you talked to me and said, take on administration. You seem to have a value addition. And it was just a coincidence that I happened to attend a course that you were instructing, and you insisted on me to take on administration instructing, which I've done and I still do up to today, even when I'm the president. That from the courses we did with you, we have been able to rebuild our own courses of administration in Uganda, and we have been able to produce very many other instructors, a multiplication factor, and now we have a course called Formaco, where myself and my vice president, Mr. Mugisha, who are both your products, have been the mentors, and it's now a minimum requirement for you to take any administrative position in Uganda. You must go through this course because we understand the impact and we can see the benefit. You've been around me as a person, as a father, as a teacher, and at some point I was thinking probably you would have made more money as a teacher than a football administrator, because you taught me to teach, and on many occasions you made me repeat to do things, and today I see what you are saying, and I've been also to transfer this knowledge to very many other Ugandans. On behalf of FUFA, we want to thank you so much, and on behalf of Ugandan football, that the success story we have at FUFA today, in Uganda today, would have not been. As we speak, a number of things have happened, and we are very proud of our journey. We have been able to go back to the Africa Cup of Nations after 39 years of failing, but now we have become a regular that we qualify to the AFCON as and when. We have been able to take our teams, the junior teams, to the World Cup for the first time now. Through your message, which you always insisted, when you take the youth and the women, then you have the future. These are your words. We picked them up. We have set up leagues. We have set up competitions. We have set up structures, academies, for us to be able to achieve this. We have also gone ahead to create our own television house, media house, the FUFA TV and FUFA Radio. Again, from your inspiration that the money we got from Brazil in the 2014 World Cup, we decided to build our own media house, and we are now able to broadcast live, including the National Premier League, onto satellite, and this is owned by the Federation. and definitely it puts us in a situation of getting more revenue. When you are with us, the only revenue we had was the $250,000 that was coming from FIFA. Today, we have a turnover of over $10 million, of course from FIFA, from government, but also from our own self-generating money. Before I conclude, I want to just tell a very short story you told us, and I keep remembering it. That one time you visited a friend who was the general secretary. By then you were the general secretary of the Botswana Federation. And the friend, a colleague for South Africa. And when you reached, there were a number of people who were waiting to see him. But when you reached, he ushered you in and said, but there are guys here from Coca-Cola, from all these big companies waiting for you. Why don't you see them? They're bringing money. And then he said, no, those guys have little money, 100,000 rands. And so how is football in Botswana? At that time, you inspired us to understand that football can make its own money. And you can reach a stage whereby you can look at some monies and say, I'm not going to sign a contract because this money is so little. Today, Mr. Mamelodi, we want to assure you that we have also turned down some proposals from some sponsors that your dream and reality, it's now a reality. So we want to thank you so much, and we can't thank you enough. And if we started to thank you, probably we're going to spend the whole day here. But I want to take this opportunity on behalf of FUFA, on behalf of the Federation of Uganda Football Association and the people of Uganda, to inform you that the FUFA Awards, which was our creation again, are created to reward those who have made excellent performances for Ugandan football, from players to coaches to administrators. But there is one special one which is left for the president of the Football Association to recognize those that have been having a specific impact in the eyes of the president. And in the previous editions, in a minute, we have awarded Paulo Sali, who is the 1978 goalkeeper of the Uganda Cranes. The last time we played the finals against Ghana, we lost to become champions. He's still alive and doing administration of football. The next person we have recognized, Altom Sange, the first Ugandan to officiate the quarterfinals of the World Cup 2002 in Korea. The third we have recognized is one Kalema Muhammad, an employee of FUFA, whom you named Blatter yourself. He's still there since 1992. He's an employee and is still running very strong, and he has sent you greetings.
Thank you.
We also awarded Mr. Mulindwa, or Dr. Mulindwa, who is the outgoing president of FUFA, for the contribution he made. We have also awarded Majidu Musisi, Ugandan's greatest footballer ever. And then Maxley, journalist, and the next person was Ashford Mamelodi. It was a no-brainer for us, for me, to award you, the first foreigner that we have awarded this particular accolade. But for us in Uganda, we don't consider you one, because you were there so many times. I don't know whether there's another country outside Botswana you ever visited more than Uganda. I don't think so. I'll be educated on that. So on behalf of the Ugandan people, please accept to receive our humble award, which is a trophy, together with a medal, together with cash of $300. And I've been able to carry it and present it and complete the job. So if allowed, I'll come forward and be able to hand over this trophy.
Yes. And the medal also.
This is historic.
Yeah. Wait. Wife and president also? Yeah.
Let us have this, then I will do it.
Okay. Yeah. And president? Okay. Just myself. Okay.
Also have the medal, which I'll have the honor to. And I have the envelope. Oh, which has. I have to do the accountability you told me. Thank you so much.
My President, Mr. Babitseng, Tariq Babitseng, my President, Engineer Honorable Moses Hassim Magogo from the Federation of Uganda Football Associations. I'm here, of course, with my wife and the rest of the family who were able to make it. This was a special day for me. The reason why I'm standing, I'm just reminding Moses that traditional instructors must always stand up when they speak. Unfortunately, when you teach, you never stop teaching. But already been done by Moses to facilitate this event. It is indeed an honor for me. It wouldn't have been complete if the BFA had not been here, if he hadn't been here himself. This shows that he really supported the initiative of FUFA. My history with FUFA is a very long one, and I think the President is correct. We'd have to have more than the whole day here if one wants to speak about my relationship with FUFA. But it's really a case of from rags to riches. That's how I'd like to sum it up. I never forget one time, Mr. President, when I was visiting FUFA long before you went into the administration. I noticed that the national team bus that I normally saw at the offices wasn't there. So I inquired from my friends, where's the bus? Is the national team playing? Hey, then somebody called me aside. You could see that there's something big to be told. Then I was told, my friend, between you and I, don't tell anybody I told you. The bus has been pawned. We ran out of money, so that the bus is deposited with one of our doctors who gave us cash. Now, when we return his cash, we'll get our bus. Just to illustrate to you where we come from in Uganda. And of course, like the President has indicated, governance was all over the place. But because of the determination of the Ugandan people to reorganize, to transform Uganda football, it was only a pleasure to work with them. And of course, fast forward to an era where Moses Magogo and one Justice Mugisha. It's a pity Justice Mugisha was not here, because he'd have had many stories to tell you. He's the first VP in Uganda. These two gentlemen helped me transform Uganda football because they decided to join the bandwagon of administration. I remember we went to funny places. I don't know, President, if you remember Chisamba in Zambia. We also went to a place called Midgard in Namibia. Now, they always queried, because I was the instructor there were two of us from FIFA. They say, but why do you always take us to the bush? Mugisha particularly complained, because we want to go to town, we want to see people, we want people to know we are around. I said, no, we needed the bush for you to focus. You know, and I recall one evening when we were in Chisamba. Chisamba is in Zambia. I took a walk around at night. There was Mugisha and some of his colleagues. I don't know where Moses was, because he doesn't look like he indulges. But they were at the bar. So as soon as Mugisha saw me, he took beers and hid them under the cupboard, because he didn't want the instructor to think they are busy drinking and not studying, because we are preparing for something to be done the following day. But one of the biggest takeaways from Uganda is really the President himself and Mugisha, because they pursued this matter relentlessly. I was always on Moses Magogo's neck about how to perfect his art of delivery in terms of administration, and you know, the rest is history. And to have both of them as president and vice at the helm of an organization say something to us that you've got people in the leadership with the wherewithal. And it doesn't surprise me. I mean, we visited Uganda many occasions. I remember one time we had a discussion. And I think Moses was part of the discussion. I said, why don't you start a radio station, a commercial? Football is so popular in this country. You know, the radio station, I believe, is there, Mr. President. It's now there, it's a living thing. And he's already told you about the studio that they have. Uganda has moved leaps and bounds. One of the other challenges that I always recall very fondly, he spoke about it briefly, when we were offering all associations in Africa a football turf. I remember President Mulindo was president then, and I said to him, President, have you identified a stadium? Then he says, you know what, my elder, he called me my elder. You know, I'm worried. I don't want this turf to go to Nachivubu. You know Nachivubu in Kampala, because we will never see it. Football will never get access to it. And then fast forward to a few months later, he called me to say, we've got a piece of land in Jinja, Njeru. So that's why we want the football turf to be. And remember at that time, if you look around Botswana, we went to Bolepolola Stadium, which belongs to government. Swaziland went to Somhlolo, which belongs to government. Malawi went to Chichiri in Blantyre, which belongs to government, etc., etc. But they decided, no, we want our own premises. And the details that the president was sharing with us about how they've moved leaps and bounds and how many players they've produced is an indication that they were visionary. And Njeru is now a hotbed of football development in Uganda. So congratulations to the president. I'm extremely proud, and I hope one day my president of the BFA will dispatch a team of people to go on an observer mission. There is a lot. In fact, I believe, and I used to tell Moses and company this, that we need an exchange of programs where some people come from Uganda here to learn certain things from us, and we go to them to learn a lot of things. This will help enhance football development. I think I want to see this happening more and more. But I can guarantee you, Mr. President, in Uganda there will be plenty to learn. The president and the first vice have taken this thing with everything that they've got. And I'm delighted at the way they've progressed in football. He was sitting on the CAF executive not so long ago, etc., etc. He beat his professor during the famous 2027 AFCON. When Botswana was supposed to be appointed, it went to Pamoja, and they all came to see me after that to do two things, to celebrate and commiserate with their professor, that prof, we're very sorry. You taught us too much, that's why we beat you now at the tricks of the trade. But really, the relationship has been a very positive one. And one of the things that we are doing in Botswana, or we did in Botswana, even before Mr. Babitseng came in, was what we called Operation Time for Change. Because we never stopped thinking. The former president, Mr. McLean, said we needed to change. And he, like you, Mr. Magogo, recognized that we need to change the level of administrators. Gone are the days where just because you are 80 years old and you've been in football for 40 years, you qualify. And I'm very happy that in Uganda there's now a certificate. And this is something that I really want my President Babitseng to take seriously. Because out of Operation Time for Change, in your General Secretary's office, Mr. President, there's a report from me giving 30 prospective participants who could be trained as instructors. I don't know what's happened to that report. Hopefully you and I will have a cup of tea, because the idea was to then train them to become regional instructors. We've got regional associations in Botswana, Moses, so we'd have in each region administration and management instructors, so that whenever there's a new team that comes up, or whenever the region needs to be refreshed or inducted, there'll be people to do it. I can't be there all the time. So Mr. President, my plea to you, Mr. President Babitseng, I don't think you can see that I'm on walking devices. I'm not as healthy as I was 50 years ago. So before anything happens to me, God forbid, I want to leave this legacy. I want to be able to say, with Mr. Babitseng, we laid a platform of instructors across the country. I'm deliberately saying this with your colleague here because I know Moses is going to ask you, how far? And he'll put pressure on you, because whenever I try and look for you, you are ever so busy. You even forget that besides the relationship, I'm your uncle. When your uncle calls, you need to report. So for me, this thing would really help us spread the word, because really it takes time to change football. And I think you can see it in Uganda that they've already succeeded in doing this change. So once again, Mr. President of FUFA, Engineer Honorable Magogo, Member of Parliament, I'm so delighted that you found it fitting. When I work, I never work for awards. But of course, when they come, they make you happy. But I hope I receive this award for the many young men and women in our continent, in our sub-region, in Botswana, to realize that hard work is rewarded. And all you have to do is work hard. Don't worry about, and I like what the president said, it's not about positions. It's just how much hard work you put in. It pays at the end. Yeah. You know, fortunately, I never dreamt of being a president of an association. I wanted to be the chief administrator. I succeeded in doing that. There was no issue there, and I felt completely satisfied. I did it at BFA, I did it at COSAFA, and then, of course, at FIFA, all operations. Because I leave politics for the politicians. Because I remember, you know, many years ago, Mr. Mui will remember, in Silibi Pikwe, when I was still an elected general secretary, we were going for elections. Everybody was busy outside running around campaigning. Now, that time, it wasn't fashionable. There was no money. So it was just, hey, please, please, support us. Now, I decided, I was in the office working. My deputy comes in and says, but, Mr. Mamelodi, tomorrow's elections, why are you sitting here? I said, you know what, my friend, the people will decide. If I've been good enough, they'll bring me back. If they found somebody better than me, good for football. Let them do that. It's history now, Mr. President Magogo, that the following day I was unanimously elected as Secretary General without campaigning. So for me, that's an important lesson. People see what you do. Okay, you don't have to go after them and start saying, my friend, how much do you need? How much should I pay you so that you vote for me? I would never do that. I'm sorry, I'd apologize, I wouldn't do that. But we need people who just work hard for football. And once you put that culture into the system, we are better off. No money is wasted. I've told my president here, I won't repeat it, when we were meeting here as an induction, I told him how to get rid of stories about vote buying. Yeah. It's something that I told him, President Magogo, I told him how to eliminate it immediately. Yeah. I hope, being my nephew, he will implement it. Yeah. So, colleagues, without taking too much time, once again, Moses, I don't know how to thank you. I want to sincerely thank you, and thank you on behalf of my family and everybody associated with me, on behalf of my association as well, for this kind gesture. Please go back and tell the people of Uganda I still love them very much. I still miss tilapia fish. I still miss those occasions we used to go out to phase 2 in Kampala and enjoy fish. And of course, I miss the hard work that they put into football. And I really want to see Uganda begin to grow even higher than they've reached. This afternoon, of course, you are playing the Zebras, Mr. President. All I can say is that good luck to both teams. May the best team win. Thank you. I've got to be diplomatic because, you know, my president knows who I want to win, but for purposes of this meeting, may the best team win. So with those few remarks, thank you very much, Mr. Babisa. Thank you very much, Engineer. I'm delighted to have received this. Can I carry it? Can I lift it? Yes. Oh, okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.